Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome back to another random match here on WWE 2K16. Now, this one has been suggested by Darragh O'Sullivan, and it is Apollo Crews versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And this would be an incredible match. And you know what? I know it's not good. I was about to say this could very much happen in real life pretty soon, but Apollo Crews has now left NXT, hasn't he? I completely forgot about that. So yeah, we might have to wait a little bit of time for this one to happen. I cannot wait for Nakamura to get onto the main roster. He is going to be such an amazing addition to the main roster. So yeah, there's a potential in this match. It's a shame that the two people I really would like to have seen Nakamura face off against, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, are both no longer wrestling in WWE. It's a real shame because those two matches would have been absolutely fantastic. And you never know. There's rumours recently that CM Punk's time in, CM Punk is not really progressing at the level that they expected he would do in UFC. So you never know. It might not be a goer for him, and you never know. He might end up coming back to WWE at some point. Which Nakamura versus CM Punk is a match that I would love to see. Anyway, enough about that. Apollo Crews, a little bit disappointed with the way that he's been treated on the main roster so far. I never get this whole putting someone over really stupid matches week after week, because the crowd really quickly lose interest in it, and I think that's really what's happened to Nation, really. Hoo-Ha Nation, of course, Apollo Crews. So yeah, it's a little bit disappointing. I'm hoping that he'll get a bit more of a. A decent push, really, coming forward. I hope he gets something out of this. I hope he doesn't just go onto the main roster, have this little dominant run, and then just end up being put in the back burner again, because that really wouldn't help anybody. I think with the amount of releases we've seen recently, there's no reason why a guy like Apollo Crews, or when he returns, a guy like Neville, can't really make a good name for himself in the upper mid-card level and going for the Intercontinental and United States Championships. Because I like Kalisto. I'm not a really big fan of The Miz, but I like Kalisto. But really, if you look at, say, 12 months ago, 13 months ago, when just after WrestleMania, the Intercontinental Champion was Daniel Bryan and the United States Champion was John Cena. And now this year, after WrestleMania, the Intercontinental Champion's The Miz, and the United States Champion is Kalisto. And I know that they're both decent wrestlers, but at the same time, when you've got guys like Apollo Crews, who's a great wrestler, you've got guys like Neville, who hasn't really been given anything sort of nailed on since he started on the main roster, and those are the sort of guys I'd like to see that get that opportunity. But don't get me wrong, it looks like at Payback, is it Payback? Yeah, Payback coming up in a couple of weeks' time, we might see Sami Zayn become Intercontinental Champion. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Or Kevin Owens to get his belt back, or even Cesaro to get that belt. I think whoever wins that match, as long as it's not The Miz, I'm going to be very, very happy. And I just wonder when this man right here will make his debut on the main roster. I know he has been advertised for this year's sort of Beast of the East tour, which would be pretty damn good. I've got a feeling, I can't remember if this is right off the top of my head or not, but I've got a feeling he might be facing off against Lesnar. Is that right? Is that right, or I might have made that up. I'm sure it was announced recently that that Nakamura was going to have a pretty big match on that Beast of the East show, which would be pretty good. If it's going to be Nakamura versus Lesnar, that would be fantastic. I'd be well happy with that. Straight away, Apollo Crews dominating the early stages of the match, now just sending Nakamura shoulder first into that ring post. And Apollo Crews knows he needs to make this one quick. Nakamura is a very dangerous wrestler, so taking him down as quickly as possible is going to be a priority here for Apollo Crews. Of course, Apollo Crews is somebody we do have in... I'm trying to remember what roster he's on now. I've got a feeling he's over on SmackDown in our universe mode, and because I did really want to start using him at the upper mid-card level as well. So hopefully we're going to give him the opportunity at some point. Yes, he's either on SmackDown or Thunder. I can't remember which one, because I know I wanted to try and get him to qualify for... I think he's over on Thunder. Is he on Thunder? I think he's on Thunder, because I wanted him to qualify for the 6-man elimination chamber, but it never... I'm getting confused here, aren't I? The 6-man elimination chamber is going to be on SmackDown. Thunder is going to be Hogan versus Cactus Jack at Over the Edge, isn't it? Yeah, that's what it is. And I know I was hoping to try and give Apollo Crews the opportunity to earn himself that number 1 contendership. I think he's over on Thunder then. But he was tied up in a rivalry match. It wasn't his rivalry. but the game decided that he would be the one to try and facilitate that rivalry. So, yeah, it wasn't that case there, but I'm thinking as we go further and further on, we'll definitely give him the opportunities that he deserves, because like I say, he's a fantastic wrestler. I'm surprised. I've heard rumours recently that Vince is not over keen on Apollo Crews, but for me that seems far-fetched, because Apollo Crews is surely exactly what Vince likes. He's a big man, he's muscular, he's got the look to be a wrestler, he's very powerful, but he's very agile at the same time. So, oh, look at that butterfly spiked pile driver. So yeah, Apollo Crews is sort of like the perfect guy for Vince, but he doesn't seem over keen at the moment by all accounts. But I'm hoping Crews can turn him around on that one. Shoulder block there by Nakamura, taking Apollo Crews down, now brings him back up to his feet. Of course, Nakamura is part of our Nitro brand, I remember that one. He also fought for the Nitro Championship at our very first pay-per-view, which was fully loaded. Lost on that occasion to Kevin Owens. Not had much of an opportunity since. He has picked up a couple of victories recently on Nitro, but the matches with Sims, we've not really watched much of him, so be interesting to see how we can develop him after the next pay-per-view, which is coming up in a few weeks' time. We'll definitely watch a few more of his matches, I think, and we'll give him the opportunity to try and earn himself an opportunity at the television championship, or maybe even put him back in the line for the Nitro Championship as well, as he quickly rolls up Apollo Crews there, and Crews does break free, only for a 2 count. Nakamura now twisting the arm and sending Apollo Crews down, now dropping the elbows across the arm of Crews and showing his Japanese style there, Nakamura. Very, very stiff wrestlers, a lot of them. And a big knee to the back as well. And there's that cross arm break. We know that Nakamura likes to use that move quite a lot, which is probably why he was weakening the arm of Apollo Crews. Dropping his elbows on there, and Crews does break free and catches Nakamura straight away into that snapmare, showing that the damage to the arm might not have been as bad as what they expected. Now Apollo Crews just slowing the match down, and best place to have Nakamura. He is grounded like that, stops him from being able to get back to a standing base, basically, and attack you with the elbows to the gut. Nakamura now sending Apollo Crews into the corner, and yeah, it's going to be amazing since when Nakamura finally debuts. I must admit, I've not watched any of the NXT episodes yet since WrestleMania, so I'll have to have a binge on them one night and catch up with it all. And I get to see Nakamura again wrestle a few times. Be interesting to see what they got lined up for him at the next takeover. Of course, we know it's going to be Balor versus Joe again, which, don't get me wrong, it's a good match, but I've seen it twice now in 2 consecutive NXT takeover main events. I would have liked to have seen something a little bit different, but still, it's going to be a pretty good match. I'm just interested to see what they're going to do with Nakamura, because surely Nakamura is going to be on that card. Oh, a scissor kick. And I would imagine that Austin Aries is going to be on there as well. And it'd be interesting to see whether the signings of, because of course at the actual WrestleMania NXT Takeover Dallas, we saw Kota Ibushi at ringside, and we saw Bobby Roode at ringside. It'd be interesting to see if those two sign up pretty soon. And Nakamura lining him up, and there's the big Kinshasa, is it calls it now, the Bomaye knee strike, and it's not enough for a victory though. Apollo Crews kicking out. I thought it was a bit of a short match. The matches normally go about 5 minutes extra on this one. And that Kinshasa wasn't enough to quite finish him off. Nakamura now dropping the elbow into the inside of the knee of Apollo Crews. And again, that's quite a good move for him to do, because Apollo Crews, like we said earlier on, is quite an agile wrestler. He likes to utilise that standing shooting star press and the standing moonsault. And by doing damage like that to the leg, it's going to make it a bit more difficult to get the spring needed to hit one of those moves. Nakamura now in with the pin. 1, 2. It's only enough for a 2 count. And a big kick to the back of the head as well. Of course, like I said earlier on, this match was suggested by Darragh O'Sullivan. Of course, if anyone else has any random match suggestions, please drop them down in the comment section below. I will note them all down on my list. I've got a pretty hefty list going on now, so hopefully I'll be trying to get as many recorded as possible before 2K17 comes out. I know I've got about 6 months until that, but I've got about 50 or 60 matches on my list at the moment. But like I say, if you do suggest the multiple matches, then I'll probably get one recorded straight away, then I'll save the rest and try and do you another one in about a week or 2 times. So trying to get as many done as I possibly can, and if I do get a bit of extra time, I will record a few extras. But at the moment, I'm trying to aim to do at least one of these every other day. But of course, we've got 4 episodes of Universe Mode getting uploaded every week, and well, at the moment, we're doing extra episodes as well. There's the Gorilla Press there by Uhaa Nation. Sorry, Apollo Crews. I'm just used to calling him Uhaa Nation. There's the pin. And it's only a 2 count. I have met Apollo Crews. He's a really nice guy, Apollo Crews, but he comes across very, very shy, I think, as well. I went to see him at a show in Nottingham a couple of years back, and yeah, he was a really nice guy. He stood there and had a chat with us, and it's great to see him getting this opportunity. It's amazing to think, like, we all sort of looked at it a few years back, and when you sort of looked at WWE, you did not expect half of these, if any of these guys, to ever be signed up by WWE. It's incredible, really. AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Apollo Crews. They're just people you never would have assumed would ever make it to WWE, and I'm so happy they have. And there's another Kinshasa. Is it Kinshasa? I think it's Kinshasa. Yeah, well, and when I say they never make it to WWE, I don't mean anything against their abilities. They're obviously very, very talented wrestlers. It's just not the way that WWE used to run. Oh, another 2 count of another knee strike, and that's starting to worry me, that, because that has become quite a common thing for Nakamura. He seems to be struggling because his finishing move just does not seem to be powerful enough. It hits. He's hit it a few times in several matches, and it never seems to keep people down. I'm not entirely sure why. It looks like if he's going to win this match, he's going to have to hit it a 3rd time. Big elbow to the gut there by Nakamura. And of course, he did bust Apollo Crews open a couple of minutes ago, and that makes it very, very difficult for a guy, because you see that blood streaming down your face. It sucks the energy out of your body as well, and it can become very, very difficult to carry on, really. Crews there with a back elbow and a diving crossbody, taking Nakamura down. Now Crews bringing Nakamura back up to his feet. Has him in the front chancery, and what has Crews got planned here? Springs him off the far rope and catches him in that huge clothesline. Crews now showing off his strength. And dragging Nakamura into the middle of the ring and dropping a knee into the middle of the back. And Apollo Crews is going to go in for a pin here. Not quite sure it's going to be enough, but it's worth a try. It does suck energy out of your opponent by having to kick out of stuff like that. Both guys back up to their feet. Crews sending Nakamura into the corner. And a big splash in that corner as well. Stomp on the back. Brings him back up to his feet. What has Crews got planned? It's a Russian leg sweep. We've not seen the standing moonsault as yet. I'd love to see a standing moonsault in this match. It has been a cracking match so far, and it's looked for big portions that Nakamura might pick up the victory, but Apollo Crews seems to be very much coming back into it now. There's the pin. 1, 2. It's only enough for a 2 count. Apollo Crews now with a spinning powerbomb, or the Elgin bomb if you will. And it's enough to finish this one off. Apollo Crews didn't look like it for a very, very long time, but he has pulled off the victory here. And that's a great win for Apollo Crews. Very, very impressive, that one. We see just a few of the highlights. There's that diving kick there. Obviously made famous by RVD, that one. As Nakamura sending Crews into the corner, and big kick, and this is the tornado DDT, that's what it was. Just trying to remember what that part of the match was then. And again, that was only enough for the 2 count as well. So yeah, I would like to see this match again in real life at some point. I'm sure there's potential for this one to be to be made. I'm sure once Nakamura gets up onto the main roster, and it makes you wonder when it's going to be when Nakamura comes onto the main roster. It's taken Finn Balor so far a couple of years, and doesn't look like he's going to be coming up until probably about SummerSlam, I would imagine, maybe. So maybe another pay-per-view after Payback, and it'd be great to see Nakamura finally come up. I think for some of the bigger names like Nakamura and Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, they really want to bring those guys up with some sort of storyline. Whereas Apollo Crews is just a very talented wrestler they could bring up at any time and let his matches do the talking. But for those main guys like Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Nakamura, even Austin Aries now as well, I think they want to try and spread their debuts out on the main roster and really make it a thing of each one. They don't want to just bring them up and just let them go for it. They want to try and bring them up into a proper storyline and have some relevance to them as well. Right, so guys, that is the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. Of course, if you have, then please do hit the like button. Thank you once again for Darragh O'Sullivan for suggesting this match. A great suggestion. Again, if anyone else has any ideas, please drop them down in the comment section below and I will get them on the list and hopefully get them recorded. If you are new around here, be sure to subscribe because there's a lot more of these random matches, and you will also find a link in the description to our Universe mode that we're currently on as well. We've got 4 brands on the go: Nitro, Raw, Thunder and SmackDown. We drew all the names out of a hat and spread them around, so it's nice mixed rosters, and we're really making some pretty good matches and feuds out of it as well, so definitely check them out. I've been Shabba Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.